Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. I thank you again for joining me. Today's lesson, of course, is going to be the story of Judah and Tamar. It's an interesting story. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. And in fact, you know, you might want to study this chapter yourself. It's after the brothers sold Joseph into slavery, just right after that. And I'm going to sit there and start with this. And of course, Judah was one of the 12 tribes, the father of the Jewish people, and Tamar was she was like sort of like a daughter-in-law to Judah. And it says here, and it came to pass at the time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned into a certain uh, Adulamite, whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there was a daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua, and he took her and went in unto her. And she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name And she conceived again and bare a son, and called him Onan. And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was at Chezib when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of Yahweh, and Yahweh slew him. He didn't put up with him. And Judah said unto Onan, Go unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his, and it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed unto his brother. And the thing which he did displeased Yahweh, therefore he slew him also. Then said Judah to Tamar his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow at thy father's house till Shelah my son be grown, for he said, Lest peradventure he die also as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in the process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died, and Judah was comforted and went up unto his sheep shears to Timnath, and he and his friends Hurrah. And it was told Tamar saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garments off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place which is by the way of Timnath, for she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot, because she covered her face. And he turned unto her by the way, and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee, for he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What wilt thou give me, that thou mayest come in unto me? And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, Wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it? And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet and bracelets and thy staff that is in thy hand. And he gave it to her, and he came in unto her, and she conceived by him. And she arose and went away, and laid up her veil from her, and put on garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of the friend to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, Where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, There was no harlot in this place. And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in the place. Judah said, let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, the daughter-in-law, has played a harlot, and also, behold, she is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, bring her forth, and let her be burnt. When she was brought forth, she sent her father-in-law, saying, by the man whose these are, am I with child? And she said, discern, I pray thee, whose are these, the signet and the bracelets and staff? And Judah acknowledged them and said, she hath been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah, my son, and he knew her again no more. After that, he never, messed with her again, or whatever you want to call it. It came to pass in the time of the travail that, behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass that she travailed, and the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound it with a scarlet thread, saying, this came out first. And it came to pass that she drew back his hand, and behold, the brother came out. And she said, how hast thou broken forth this breach? Be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Pharez. And afterward came out his brother, that he had a scarlet thread upon his hand. His name was called Zara. So that was an interesting story, Judah not knowing, being tricked into, giving children to, Tamar and the brother, Judah's son. It was very interesting, telling it all. It's, what can you say about that story? It's like almost, unbelievable. I mean, but I think I've said it in another episode or two about the family of Jacob, how dysfunctional they were, and trickeries and deceptions and things like that going on through the whole family. It was like an Old Testament soap opera. It really was. And I just wanted to share that story with you, just a Bible lesson, plain and simple, straight out of scriptures, of course. And let me know what you think about that story. And also give me a big thumbs up, and also be a subscriber and hit that notification bell. And also, please watch my other videos. Till we meet again, I thank you again. I really thank you guys for joining me here. Until we meet again, peace out and shalom.